Hello, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we're here to reflect on the Local Honey Picture Box. This is an Oracle deck and self love toolkit by Emily Wilcox. This was sent to me for review by the creator, Emily Wilcox. She sent this to me at the tail end. It didn't arrive to me till the tail end of the Kickstarter campaign. And so since I got it so late and there was no way that I was going to be able to look at it, work with it, review it before the end of the campaign. I've just been sitting on it, but I have a prototype copy here, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I just heard that the Kickstarter it's done. Everything's being mailed out, and very soon these will be available for purchase on her website. I spoke to the creator today, and she said that the website will be up as soon as she can, and she does have extra decks. So I just wanted to make sure that there were going to be extra decks before I before I made the video, and so that I could give you guys that information. And as soon as I have the place where you can go and purchase this if you would like, I will put it in the description box below. And until then, I will link her Instagram as well as her current website that's up now, so that you guys can just follow along on your own if you would like. Here's the book. Like I said, this is a prototype. I'm not exactly sure what the Kickstarter version will look like, but we're going to go through it anyway, just so that you can get a feel. It has a fabulous table of contents, alphabetical order with the page numbers, 2-page spread, easy to find stuff. Love it. Love to see it. The letter here tells us about the deck, and I'll read that as I'm flipping through the cards so that you guys can get a feel for what she has to say about the deck and the background of it. It does mention in here that she used actual models for these paintings, which you can feel she's done a great job of capturing their expressions, their faces, the mood, the energy of them in the paintings, which then translates to your readings. You know what I mean? So I love the paintings in this deck. She's a wonderful artist, and I think they're oil paintings. Does it say in here? And she's captured these people beautifully. There's 44 cards. So she does have a disclaimer here where she says, this deck is not meant to override your own experiences. It's not meant to be a substitute for mental health services. It is only meant to be a deck that is here to help her put into the world her own experience and understandings and things that she's learned along the way of working on self-worth and self-love. And she wanted to share that with us through her artwork and through her writing. So that is what this is. And then it goes right into everything that she has to say about the cards. And there's no fussing around in this guidebook. And what she's written here is beautiful. And I will read some of the one or two at the end. I'll shuffle and read. But right now, let's go through the cards, and I'll kind of read to you the entry while we go through the cards. So here are the backs. Perfect backs for this deck. Fire and honey, sun and moon, coming together to make peace and love and connection, in the world. And I love this back. I think it's beautiful. And I love the stars because it makes me think that this is not something that is supposed to be, it's not, this is something that we have available to us. This knowledge and this way of healing is something that's available to us from spirit. It's not something that is not supposed to be accessible to us. You know what I mean? So I like that. I love this image on the back of this card, and I love how layered it is and how much it makes me think. And I feel like all the images in this deck are like that. So I'm excited to show them to you. So let's do that. Let's look at the pictures and the messages. Let me just zoom you in. All right. I want to make sure you can see very clearly everything on the card because I'm going to read from the introduction while I'm flipping through. So you'll need to read the titles on your own. So you have the number and then the title of the card at the bottom. So it says, Dear Reader, in 2015, when I was in the middle of a painful breakup that ushered in an existential crisis, I woke up one morning and typed into my search engine, how to actually love yourself. I didn't find the roadmap I was looking for on that day, but it did mark the beginning of a several years long period of transmutation that has led to a mostly functional and ever refining answer to that question. Years in the making, the Local Honey Picture Box, which you now hold in your hands, is the byproduct of that endeavor. I wasn't only struggling with self-love, I was also at a crossroads in my practice as a visual artist, with an academic background in painting and a true love for the craft. I was disillusioned and exhausted with the reality of pursuing a traditional fine art career. I wanted to make paintings that would serve a distinct purpose, that would be packaged in a format that people could actually use and interact with, and that could help meet a direct personal and cultural need for a wider audience, rather than merely serving to advance the elitist field that often feels divorced from the realities and struggles of ordinary life. The Local Honey Picture Box is my sincere attempt to fulfill these purposes, designed to serve as a platform language and a visual map of the actual nuts and bolts of how to love yourself. It reflects a solid framework of concepts and practices that I have found to be effective and actionable for building self love in my process of recovering from narcissistic abuse, codependency, and workaholism. Created from the beginning of 2019 through the end of 2022, each of the 44 cards in the deck features an image of an original 14 by 21 oil painting designed to represent a specific aspect of how to love yourself. My approach to self love and healing is informed by Chaos Magic, Nathaniel Branden's writings on self esteem, Jungian psychology, 12-step programs, and an anarchist and anti capitalist ethos. The imagery of the deck reflects the people, settings, everyday objects, and dreamscapes that were a part of my life and surroundings during the time of its creation. Bringing this project through to completion has been my most precious undertaking. Now in your hands, it can finally take on its true life. With immense gratitude and the very best wishes to you, Emily Wilcox. So now you can kind of see kind of where she was coming from with this. She's given us um, snapshots of her practice, her self-love practice, and her self-worth practice in a deck, a usable deck that we can use to, um, use for ourselves to bring that into our own practice. Look at this beautiful image. This is what's on the cover of the box, and it's so beautiful. Thank yourself. I love the way she's captured these people's faces. um, she's a beautiful painter, and the images just come to life. They feel emotion, right? Emotion and in motion. Don't try to convince people. Stay curious. It's very diverse. It reflects the global majority. Mind your ratio. Connection with the whole. Forgiveness through repair. This one, I saw this one, and this one got me like in my feels. I was like, a lot of times I do love a good, I love a good affirmation deck. We all do, right? And sometimes that's what we need. But sometimes it's not so easy to just be like, oh, forgive yourself or have grace for yourself. Sometimes we have to actually work on that, right? We have to actually do the work that it takes to come to a point where we actually can forgive ourselves, not just say that we should forgive ourselves, right? And that means in the same way that we have to forgive the things that we need from other people to forgive them, we need to also offer ourselves, right? Apologies and um, empathy and all of these things. So yeah, this one was is deep. Love your demons. Make room for opposites. I love that one as well. Reality check. Not destroying any parts. Oh, this one, man. This one. So this one is about. Well, let me just read from the guidebook because the guidebook entry for this one is fabulous. Let me just find it. Okay, so you can read it for yourself if you prefer. There's 2 pages here, so let me just give you the other page. I'm going to read it out loud, some of it, just some of it. It says, when we have a behavior or pattern that we are trying to change, it can be tempting to identify and isolate specific parts of oneself with the intent of fighting against or even killing them. If we can get rid of the parts of us that are causing the problem, then the problem will be solved, right? Wrong. Singling out and vilifying a specific aspect of oneself is self hatred. Plus, you actually can't get rid of them. The closest you can get to that is to suppress and condemn them, which is likely to make them flare up in rebellion and anger, giving you even more problems than you had before. What you can do instead with the tricky aspects of yourself is up level their expression through alchemical transformation. In alchemy, the base material is not eliminated or destroyed, it is transformed. It hasn't vanished, yet its old form and function are rendered obsolete. We can do this with tricky parts of ourselves by giving them a redirect or a new outlet, ushering them through whatever resolution process they need, or changing the way we are relating to them within the larger ecosystem of ourselves. Don't try to destroy the parts of yourself you don't like. Figure out what they really need and navigate them to a place within your personal ecosystem that works for the whole of you instead of against it. So not destroying any parts, right? It's just it's just good, and it really does like lean into that Jungian energy, that Jungian psychology, um, and the self worth of it all. Not just This is not like inspiration. This is not affirmation. This is self worth and self love, like a profound self love deck. Um, yeah. So this is quite the deck, and it's one of those decks where you just need that one card to think on and journal on. There's no You can pull multiples, of course, but really I just have been working with it one card at a time. So just real quick, I'm going to just show you size and all of that. This is again a prototype, but I think that the one that's coming out will be around the same. So this is a Hay House size card. You can see that they are pretty much the exact same size. I mean, a little bit more narrow, but pretty much the exact same size as a Hay House size oracle card. If you're looking at it up against a tarot card, this is the size. They're a little taller, a little wider. Typical oracle size deck. So this is a semi-gloss. You can see it catches the light just a little bit, has a little sheen, and I think that's really nice for the images. Makes them pop, makes those colors pop, and it glides and moves very nicely. It's very buttery and soft. It's not buttery, it's smooth. It's smooth and semi-gloss. So they have they're definitely cord, and they bend and shuffle very easily, almost like a set of playing cards. So yeah, I would say that this is very nice cardstock. Feels like Make Playing Cards or something like of that sort, Printer Studio or something of that sort. Shuffles easily. There's no sticky, so you've got a pretty decent deck there. Let me just pick a card and we'll look at the guidebook. So we got Override Starvation Programs. So let's zoom in and take a look. Look at this adorable horsey and kitty and this person. And this is what I mean by look how she's captured this facial expression. Like you can clearly see exactly what's going through this woman's head. Um, feel her emotions through the image. I like that she's incorporated the honey here. The honeycombs throughout the deck, throughout some of the images in the deck. It's really cool. So I found it in the guidebook. Here it is if you'd like to read it for yourself. It says, starvation programs are deeply embedded patterns of belief and behavior which dictate that in order to be good, one must take less, have less, need less. This represents a twisted idea of pursuing virtue based on a zero-sum mentality, and sometimes also a failure to recognize that meeting regular needs is not the same as wasteful overconsumption. Starvation programs can even lead to being totally disconnected from the existence of one's needs in the first place as a result of routinely ignoring, invalidating, and suppressing them. And then it goes on. Okay, so it says locating starvation programs in our own functioning and replacing them with nurturance and abundance to the extent that we have access to is how we consciously override this pattern. Starvation programs can play out in a variety of areas: comfort, attention, affection, grace, forgiveness, rest, food, joy, and she lists on and on. And you can go in and I love that because it gives maybe you make a journal entry on how you might be, playing into these starvation programs in these different areas. How am I playing in for comfort? How am I doing it for attention, affection, grace, and go through, and it really gives you some thoughts there. I love this guidebook. Every time I read from it, it takes me into, I want to pull more cards. I want to journal. And I don't often want to journal, to be honest. It's not something I do a lot of, but with this deck, I want to journal. I want to think it, and I want to write it down so that I can remember what I came up with. Look at those gorgeous images. So let's take a look at some pairings really quickly, and you can see, like, if you're like me and you pull a card and then want to see, dig into it some more with tarot, I'll show you some decks that I have in my collection that I think match up nicely with it. Just give me 1 second. So what decks have I been using it with? To be honest, anything that feels supportive enough to work through this type of reading. Whatever I need to support me is what I'm pulling. So I did use it with the Savvy Soul Tarot. This one is out of print, unfortunately, but if you have it in your collection already, I thought that this was a nice match. And the Savvy Soul Tarot does tend to be a nice, supportive, thoughtful, thought-provoking deck. This one, and we've got, these are photo collages, and these paintings are so realistic, like the way that the faces come alive, that I felt like they went, they just kind of match. They match in energy, this adventurous energy, like the adventure of finding yourself, So I like these together. Of course, I used it with the Super Lunaris. This is my go-to for this type of work. And I'm always using this deck for this type of work. And so, that's my go-to. And it looks good. Again, most of my collage decks, I did try a few of them. They all look great with this deck. And I think it's because these paintings are so gorgeous. It's like they could walk right out of there, So even though this is painted, it still fits with the idea of the energy of a collage deck. And then it's not gonna, the border is nice too, because it gives you a little bit of a space there to breathe. Look at that one. Whew. Beautiful, beautiful paintings. Okay, so that's Super Lunaris. I found myself using it a lot with the Little Sister Tarot. This is a new indie deck release, also a Kickstarter, from Jenny Thompson. She sent this to me for review, and I have been head over heels in love with it since it arrived. And it is very beautiful and very supportive for this type of work. Now, this one is also painted. I'm not sure the type of medium, but if you're looking for something more painterly, this is a good, for me, I think it's aesthetically beautiful and also supportive and thought-provoking, which is what I was looking for when I found myself always looking for something supportive and thought-provoking. And this is what I came up with in my little journey. But if you are getting this deck in, or you have ideas while you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, it would go so well with this, let me know let us all know in the comments below. We'd love to know what you're thinking. So that is the Little Sisters Tarot. Look at that, the Knight of Cups with the Four of Cups and emotional landfill. So it's like, okay, someone is coming to you and reaching out and offering you love or something creative, and you are so stuck in, you've got so much going on that you're just feeling so overwhelmed that you can't even see it. You can't even see it. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I like this. I love this match. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of my favorites. So this is the Little Sister Tarot. This one is the Joie de Veuve. How do you say that? Somebody tell me. Nobody has ever said anything to me about it, and I know I'm butchering it. But this is this one, which I like to call the Joie de Vivre, because that's, I don't know, that's what I've been calling it. And I like it. I like this deck. And like I said, something supportive and thought provoking, and also has white borders, which helps bring it together, even though the artwork is very different. I don't have a walkthrough of this one, but the other two I do, so I'll post those in the cards: the Savvy Soul and the Little Sister. 10 of Coins, 10 of Coins with Protect Yourself, and the Queen of Wands. Ooh, interesting, fierce. Queen of Wands with these lions. Honor your pace with the 6 of Coins and Death. Wow. Yeah, we like Edith. Queen of Swords with Completeness and the 8 of Cups. She's done, you know? Self-esteem, emotional availability, it says. Interesting. Self-sacrifice is an ego trap. I know that's right. With the King of Cups and the 2 of Coins. It's a balance, right? It's not about sacrifice. It's about, matter of fact, the guidebook entry for this, I remember, it said it's not about sacrifice. It's about, what did it say? Let me look. I can't remember the exact. It says self-sacrifice is not admirable. It's the trappings and optics of virtue as a flimsy veneer over violence. Self-sacrifice is self-violence, and violence is violence, whether you're experiencing externally or internally. Then she says, self-sacrifice and martyrdom are often portrayed as honorable, saintly, holy, and even godlike. The glorification of martyrdom in culture and religion serves the interests of those who wish to dominate others, because it conditions people to seek ego gratification through allowing themselves to be diminished or exploited. Suffering is not a virtue. And I know, I was like, yes. I mean, I read through, it's like 2 pages and it goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I was just thinking to myself, yes, yes, yes. And look, it came up here with the Chariot and Strength. I know that's right. Speak, speak. I like this little pairing. Another one I tried it with and liked, and this is similar. This is like a mass market deck that has a similar feel to the Little Sister Tarot, because it's feminine and it's sort of that sort of parchment papery look to it. So it's illustrated. So I don't know if I would call it a dupe, but you know, it could work. You know what I mean? And I did try them together and I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the way they read together. So, and this one is called the Sacred Sisterhood Tarot. Did I say that? The Sacred Sisterhood Tarot. So yeah, I found this to be thought-provoking and kind. It's a kind deck. It's not soft, but it's kind, you know. So, and the final deck that I use with it is the Broken Isn't Bad Tarot. I've had this for a minute, this Oracle, the Local Honey picture box. So I've been using it, and so I've used it with a bunch of decks. And some of them, you know, I still have here available to me to show you, and some of them I don't. But like I said, if you guys have some that you think are slam dunk and they work well, or the energy is great, or the look is great, let us know in the comments below. I was just going for stuff that felt like it had the same energy and also was supportive. So that's what I used it with. This Broken Isn't Bad deck is the same sort of self-worth journey as this Oracle deck. So I thought, yes. And yeah, I mean, they're not a perfect match, but I don't mind them together. And I actually enjoyed reading with them together. So the Broken Isn't Bad. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed taking a look at this deck with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle. And like I said before, when I have all the information of where you can pick this deck up, I'll definitely put it in the in the description box down below this video. But I will link the creator's Instagram as well as their website down there, so you can take a look at, you know, what's going on with her and her exhibition that she's got. If you're in the neighborhood, maybe you stop by and see some of the paintings IRL, you know, and also just keep in, to be able to keep track of what she's up to over there as far as shipping decks, any extra decks that she has from her Kickstarter. So until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye.